Welcome to No Idea Live. The subject today, by the way, I'm Kevin Huntsberger, Digital Marketing Manager at Idea Creative Marketing. This is Whitney Roberts, and she is the Chief Marketing Strategist.
Sometimes when you guys let me.
So today we are talking about some of those buzzwords that we hear when it comes to marketing and what marketers maybe use to try to get you to use their goods and services.
Lock you into contracts.
Yes.
Is what they do.
That should be one of the words we have on the
And some
list.
of them are legit and some of them not so much. Or they're legit, but they don't really apply to you. So we've picked out our favorite ones.
Yes.
Ones that we've heard lately, but then just ones that I like. And we do use them because they are legit,
Right.
but do they work for you? That's really kind of what we're going to talk about.
And context is going to be king for a lot of this conversation because, like you said, we do use some of these, and we don't want it to put a negative spin on it that buzzwords are bad, because obviously we all use them.
We have to. I think context is definitely important. Google stopped and made sure that you can't keyword pack, and marketers tend to do that when they're trying to oversell product. So let's just figure out, one, what these words are, what they mean, and are they relevant to your business? So what's first on your list?
First on my list is influencer or micro-influencer, which,
that's a good one.
Influencers are obviously, there is a value to having the influencer marketing strategy in place. But you also, in my opinion, and this is mostly my opinion, please weigh in on some of this stuff. It's, how much stock are you putting into that influencer? And do you, I think as long as you're being genuine and true with your audience, it's okay to go that route. But once the audience or your potential audience or potential customers pick up on this person is being paid to, take photos or videos with these products, it loses all of that that realness or that connection that you're really trying to build, I think.
Yeah, I think that, one, influencers are a great way to advertise if you can follow up on it. So a lot of times what we don't want you to think is that you can just pay an influencer and be done with it.
Right.
An influencer just does the post and then they're done with it.
Yeah.
But on your end, you have to be involved. You have to follow up. You have to set the tone. You have to set the agreement. You have to do all of the work. So, except for the post. The post is done for you. The audience is already there with your influencer. That's really what you're buying into. But you still have to do all of the legwork to see if it works.
And, it's something that we have studied and looked into and done some research on too. And there are some, I guess, micro influencers in this area. Obviously you think of the big influencers that have millions and millions of followers. So those micro influencers are also kind of starting to make a niche as well in the marketplace. Right.
I mean, anybody over 10,000, I think, but really you can look at, as a smaller company, a micro influencer, which is at 10,000 followers, they may not be in your budget. I mean, you're looking at thousands of dollars for a post, where you may be looking at somebody who has 2,000 to 5,000 if they've got a good engagement rate. And there we go. There's another buzz term, I guess. But that's really what you have to look at. We have to look at, does it make sense? Can you follow up on it? Can you track it? Are they going to hold their end of the deal? Making sure there's a lot of back end work too. Do they match everything that your company does and stands for and your values? And then, the tracking of it. So it's a great opportunity, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
It's not waving a magic wand and making your sales skyrocket.
I have my magic wand. My first one, I'm going to list.
Yes.
I bet mine is pretty good.
It is.
It's algorithm.
Okay.
And that happens to be one of my favorite terms because it is so important to everything that you do because it is a science. However, people will say algorithm completely out of context. You don't design content specifically for an algorithm. You have to design it for people,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has to match an algorithm, and so that you can be picked up and obviously shown to people. It's that's how it works. That's
Mm-hmm.
the science behind it. So we get into a lot of these. You just buy the product online. SEO used to be a big product for algorithms, but all they did was talk to Google. So then people would go on your website and it would be so out of touch.
I think algorithm too is one of those words that people throw out there and are confused and don't fully understand the science and why we are using that word. And I know you don't use TikTok very often, but that's one thing I see it come up a lot is people post videos about, boosting your algorithm and making things, to where everyone can see it and whatnot. So,
Which you have to do. I mean, that's really what we use. But a lot of times when an agency is called to answer questions, they're like, oh, the algorithm. Well, no, these are the numbers. There's a hard set of data. So
right.
If you're not getting that data, you need to find out why. It's not an algorithm. And algorithm, we don't design content. Please don't design your content based on what the algorithm wants. You want a nice balance, but
Mm-hmm.
you are talking to people, you are trying to appeal to people because that's who's going to buy the product and be your customer.
Yeah. I think that kind of transitions into my next buzzword, and that is viral video. There are actually videos of people telling you how to make viral videos. And I've always kind of subscribed to the theory that there's no recipe for that. You're not, if your intent is to make a viral video, chances are you're not going to have a viral video on your hands. So, it's one of those things. It kind of goes along with the influencer marketing stuff too. It's something that's genuine and real and kind of is natural. And I think when you force that and have that expectation, I see people all the time that say, let's make this video go viral, and they'll, share it on their Facebook or their Instagram or wherever it may be. And it's just, stop doing that. That's not how it works. And it's, and then there are other definitions, or, what is a viral video? I see people that say, oh, my video went viral and it may have a couple thousand views. Or, in my opinion, it's when you're reaching that million or more views. And then, what are you going to do with it once that happens? Because then everybody wants to strike lightning in a bottle again. I made one viral video, I can do another one. And it just kind of becomes almost a competition with yourself to make these quote unquote viral videos.
And that's what happens. We get so kind of siloed into, oh, I'm going to make a viral video, that you lose track of your brand and your message and everything that goes along with that.
Right.
So if you have a video that goes viral, great. But that should not be the intent of you making the video. It should be fun. You should like to do it.
Sure.
It should have a clear message and a clear purpose. All of those key definitions of why you should be doing something and spending your time on it. So I think just focus in on your message and having fun. And if you go viral, great. But if you're not having fun and you're just siloed into, I'm going to make this video viral, it's not ever going to, because people will know. They'll see through that intention.
Yeah, exactly. Be genuine.
Yes. Is it my turn?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to go with buyer funnel or buyer journey or sales funnel.
Okay.
So that means different things to everyone because we all have different customers or different sales techniques. And the buyer that we're looking for has and maybe it's a customer journey, not really a buyer journey. But, it's all about landing pages and click funnels, and those things are all great. We need them to follow leads and to track leads and find out where people are coming from and making sure that you're getting a return on your investment. However, selling those individually as, click funnel campaigns and not looking at creating content around that, it's a big mistake, and it's not going to work because you don't have any supporting content to tell your story or to sell your brand. You're just simply doing an ad. It's not a campaign. Campaigns are always well-rounded on multiple channels with multiple different messages so that you can reach people wherever they are, however they like to be reached, and that works for them. And if you're not doing that, then you're wasting your money. Just stop. So if that is a strategy really that you're buying into solo, stop. Just don't do it.
Yeah. And I had this on my list, similar on my list as well. And, we've talked about it before. People consume different social media channels differently. So you want to have that variety and that different look and feel to those different channels.
Yeah.
Especially if you're paying someone to do that for you. So.
Well, you should.
Anyway. Yeah. I'm going to throw out the phrase, think outside the box. Do you have that on your list?
Always in the box.
Yes.
No.
And I'm guilty of this, whether it's in, personal conversations with people, groups or organizations that I've been a part of before. So everybody sits around the table and everybody's like, we really need to think outside the box. And that kind of has the negative side of that is you're basically telling everyone that their ideas suck. I don't like your ideas, so think of something outside the box and think of something different, where you can kind of still have that synergy and come together, and thinking outside the box is fine, but you have to know exactly kind of where you want to go with that and what, without making people in your group or your customers even, feel undervalued or underappreciated.
Yeah, you have to have an end goal. For anything that you want to put an investment. What is your end goal? And I think sometimes I know businesses, we get blinded by, just as people, look at this bright, shiny object or new buzzwords, and we forget what we are doing and our goal. Our goal is always to increase revenue, boost brand awareness, those main KPIs, which I'll circle back to, but we kind of get lost and our focus gets shifted because we're always chasing things or chasing competitors. You need to have your set end goal and know what that is, and always make sure that it loops back around to that. So you can think creatively or outside of the box, but as long as it's still targeting, your buyer personas, that's why buyer personas are very important to have, so that this is appealing to your audience. And then loop it back around to how do we get them to this end goal.
Very good.
So KPIs.
I was going to say, bring us to the KPIs.
So your key performance indicators. Now this one I can really get on a tangent about. So you got to just reel me in. But we've got fluff numbers and we've got real data.
Okay.
So there are, your KPIs are going to be a little bit different depending on what your goal is. Again, so if somebody comes in and gives you a list of KPIs and that is their product and package, then you might as well just stop, because it's not going to be a personalized approach. So if you're selling something, you need to look at revenue indicators and values, and obviously what people are spending, and then how much you're spending on the ads. So all of that stuff's very important. But what I see a lot of times in marketing proposals is likes. I'm going to get you to this many likes or this many followers, or we'll get this many comments, however many reactions.
Yeah.
It's not a valuable thing.
Right.
It's not. It drives me crazy.
And people are still, and we get calls daily, multiple times a day about, improving our Google performance, or, these are empty promises that are not going to lead you anywhere. And again, like you said, those likes and whatnot, it's not really what you truly should be looking for
or I will get you on page 1 of Google.
Yeah.
Google themselves say that is a true red flag.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Yeah. I just think people fall into that because they want that easy, quick fix to whatever they propose or whatever they perceive as their problems or whatever.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody wants a magic wand.
Yes.
But, the reality is that like everything else, you have to build content. You have to build your audience. I mean, it's just as building a business.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some time. So anybody that says, oh, this is going to be, there are some short-term, immediate results that you get from different marketing avenues and strategies that we work into a long-term plan. But marketing and brand awareness take time. And if your agency or your team doesn't understand that, then you need to look for a new agency or new team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This last one for me is not, you're going to give me a look, I know, but I'm going to give you an explanation as to why I picked this, because back to TikTok, I follow a former news anchor as well, who is a kind of a video coach, kind of a, throws out some advice and tips. And I actually, this kind of resonated with me. Her name's Virginia Kerr, but she said, stop using the word love in business or, obviously in relationships and whatnot, you're going to still use this. But instead of saying, I would love to set up a meeting with you, frame it back to a question. Would you like to set up a meeting? Would you like to get together?
Makes sense.
I love your website. It brings it back to you. Instead, say, your website looks amazing. Who built it for you? Those kinds of, because it comes off as an empty compliment a lot of the times, because do you really love it, or you're just expressing that, that adulation that is not really true to what you're intending to say or what you intend to mean.
Why do you love it?
Right. So, explain why instead of just that blanket empty statement. And I probably didn't articulate it as well as she does it in her videos, but that's kind of I've been thinking about it, and when I am making calls or whatever and talking to people, it's whatever is another one of those words she says to stop saying. So, I'm catching myself more often now. But anyway, it's just, try not to come off as, again, it's being real and being genuine and trying to find ways that don't just circle it back to you, but also engaging in the customer or the client and making them feel value as well.
I think that kind of plays into allowing people to get to know you too. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to say, well, I love your website. But if I know why you love my website, I like the colors, I like the animations. Now you know something more about me.
Yeah.
And now I can kind of circle that back in to how I appeal to my audience and, really what I'm going to respond to. Let's do some animated videos. Let's do some more graphics. Let's step up our branding. So I think that is really important to kind of look at and know, is always ask the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's good.
I have like technical terms, and you bring out love.
I know. I knew I was going to get a look at that one.
It's okay. It was a good point, but still, love.
Sorry.
I'm going to go with CRM advertising.
Okay.
Do you even know what that is? You don't need to.
I would love to know what that means.
Can I have some more detail? So your CRM system, customer relationship management.
I didn't want to say it.
Boom. A lot of times marketers use this to, it sounds really fancy, and it is great if you have a good CRM system. And those are high dollar systems. And even if you have the system in place, the hours that somebody is on site to put in all of that data, the data doesn't always get updated. It doesn't get put in properly. And then if you've bought into a CRM advertising tool, all it does is pull from that database. So a lot of times we'll see where customers have bought into that program, those strategies, but they fell short or they didn't perform at all because they either didn't have a CRM, their CRM was outdated, or the data wasn't good. So if you are pulling data that's bad, all of your marketing efforts are going to fail. So customize your marketing.
Yeah. And that is the key, I think, is because as we've always, and maybe this is one of my buzzwords that I always throw out there, is that one size fits all. You know, it's marketing. There's no cookie cutter. There's no. There are so many different strategies. There are so many different channels. So many different ways to reach audiences for different businesses, and you really do have to get away from the agency that just has a generic plan. Here's our blueprint, and this is how we follow it because this is what the algorithm tells us. And instead, really customizing and knowing and listening to your audience is the key.
Right. I mean, every business is different. You may have, obviously, there's going to be more in your industry or your landscape, or you may even sell the same kind of products. But at the very end of the day, you still have different buyers, or else you wouldn't be in business.
True.
So looking at your buyers, your audience, why do people choose your product or services over your competitors? Knowing that information and taking time to understand it, and then create marketing strategies. So create your strategy based on what you know about your business and your customers, your buyers, and don't get blinded by these marketing packages. If there's a marketing package, a lot of times people will try to fit their business into a marketing package, and it is exactly the opposite of what it should be. And we go into these accounts and, you know, they've just really been on a ride and just taken for all these dollars simply because they were sold great marketing tactics, but not great for them.
Right. And that's where you want to get outside the box, is when someone's trying to box you into this package of this is how you should do it.
Just saying, no, thank you. I know my business. How can we strategize together and create a plan together? But you know your business better than anyone else.
Yeah.
There's no agency that is going to come in and tell you more about your business than you know yourself. And as marketers, we understand that, and we are going to create strategies based on what you know so that we can make it work.
Yeah, it becomes a partnership and a relationship where we are listening to your voice so then we can come up with the best way to get more people to listen to that voice.
And then we make friends because we're not selling you stuff you don't need.
Very good. Very true. Very, very true.
And that's all I have. That's the end of my list.
The lists are over. If you have a list or suggested buzzwords you'd like to throw out there, be sure to make a comment. And as always, we invite you to like this page, follow it, and come back every Wednesday for No Idea. And check out our YouTube channel and soon podcasts.
Yes.
It's coming.
No, it's happening.
It is. So we're excited about the changes that are going on here at Idea Creative Marketing. And we thank you once again for tuning in.
Bye, guys.